Oh, Max. You have to eat a lot of crow this weekend, and the
You know
prophecy has been
what?
fulfilled. The prophecy has been
The
fulfilled,
pro
finally.
the prophecy has been fulfilled, but I don't think I have to eat any crow though. I think
One thing
I
about you,
still
you
have
never
my
lose.
arguments. I'll give some to Barry Baker. I gotta be honest, he made it happen, and I mean, Phend made it happen, but Barry was obviously a part of it. Uh, I'll take some back, but I'm not eating any crow though.
Ah, oh man, you're just like my daughter and my wife. They're never wrong. Never, ever, ever wrong. But anyway, you know what? We got to talk about that. We got some RC
Yeah.
news to talk about. But first, we have to drop that intro.
Nitro is the glory,
but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this money-grabbing book racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right. Yeah.
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. There was nothing e-buggy, anything at all e-buggy about anything this weekend because it's all about Nitro. Let's just get that out of the way right there off the bat. Welcome to episode number 178 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keno White, aka Lefty the Great, and we got the arrogant, homeless one, Arrogant Max. What's up, Maxie? You're home.
I don't really know which one of my nicknames would be better. Like arrogant one or homeless one, both sound pretty negative. But yeah, I'm at my parents' place this time recording. So it's been a while
you went
since
home
I've
for the
recorded
weekend.
here. Yeah, I went home for the weekend. I've been chilling out, having a good time with my parents. So yeah,
Nice.
it's been good recently. I mean, we had a lot of racing. We had races in Italy, in Spain, in America, obviously. So yeah, it's been a good weekend for RC. I've digged it.
All right. We didn't really do anything this weekend. I know we planned on doing something, but he was kind of like, I'm chilling with my family, and I kind of was chilling with my family, but I was watching the Nets, and like my wife had things to do, so she went and did it, and then I had to watch my kids while I watched the Nets. Well, my son, he's pretty easy to watch. But I sat down and watched these Nationals from Thursday to 11 o'clock last night. That's what time the main finished. So it was good. But before we go on any further, I'd like to say some thank yous, and I'd like to say shout out and thank you to all of the NNRC Squad around the world. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you guys for all the continued support. Whether you're downloading, you're hitting those like buttons, you're sharing our stuff. Please continue to do that. Leave reviews. Help the podcast get out into the stratosphere, out into the algorithm, and get us out there. More people. It's pretty cool to see more people are discovering the podcast, and we need this to go viral. There's got to be more. There's got to be 10,000 plus people out there racing 8-scale cars that want to geek out on it. You know, I know probably didn't speak. A lot of them don't speak English. All right. So thank you to all the NNRC Squad. Also, shout out to the patrons of the podcast. You guys will get our early release this week as well. You got our patron-only podcast with JQ and I, and we tell the Peanut Butter Cup story. So if you want to hear the Peanut Butter Cup story and you want to hear JQ being all pissy and not happy, even more unhappy than he was the other day on the live, then go check that out And we greatly appreciate everybody's support that goes into Patreon and helps keep things going. I wouldn't be able to do the podcast without that. So thank you. If you wish to be a patron, there's a link in the written description of this podcast. Check it out. Also, we have some awesome companies that sponsor us and choose to use the podcast as a great platform to advertise. They are Invisible Speed. That book is getting great reviews, and people are now starting to catch on to the online course. Check them out. The online course is now in Spanish as well, I think translated by Robert Badier. So you can get the online course there and the book, and the online course is just a bit more in-depth with videos and a little bit more, JQ explaining things. It has its own Discord channel, and they do have lives with top drivers like Robert Badier, David Runafalk. They've had Kyle McBride, I believe Cole Ogden as well. Mm-hmm. And the 10 scale touring car will have a whole bunch of stuff with the Dr. Alexander Hagberg. So check that out. It's really a great piece of equipment for people, I think, and people should get on it, especially the online course. Shout out to TZO Tires. Good to have them on as an associate sponsor this year. TZO 200 Tires, my good friend Nick Hernandez, who I will see this weekend because he's coming over for RCGP. They are the TZO Tire. They are the brand. Control Tire for the entire RCGP RC2 series. So congratulations to them. They made a big splash at DNC. High Tech RC, thank you to High Tech for all their support. They are one of the companies that are helping me get to races this year. I think the next race that I'm going with High Tech will be Silver State. I'm looking forward to that. Check out High Tech RC. TNR Fuels. Man, Chris Nelson's been everywhere. He was at the Nats this year. He TQ'd the Nats, the 40-plus Nats this year. But he was not unable to win them. But congratulations on the TQ. Beach RC. Congratulations to Brent. Ultimate Racing. They are national champions. Dakotah Phend is a Truggy and Buggy national champion, using Ultimate engines and his Nitrolux fuel. So I know Brent is happy about that. Congrats. And he's a Beach RC driver as well. So congratulations to Beach RC. Brent, I will be seeing him and Lucas this week too. I'm looking forward to seeing Lucas as well. Techno RC, not the weekend they wanted this weekend. They wanted a better weekend, but some promise there. Seth and Dayton looking very fast out there. But we'll talk about that. But, shout out to Techno RC. I had T-Bone on as my winner, and I thought he was going to be able to do it, but
he looked good.
Unfortunately,
but then it is what it is. But he looked good at the start. He had a good momentum.
Yes, he did. Shout out to the Mayako guys. We'll get to see a whole bunch of Mayako guys here at RCGP. That's going to be good. My Mayako family and JQSM. G-Spec RC tuning for all your cabling needs. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic for all your traction needs. Long-time sponsor of the podcast. Thank you to Scooter. The Racecraft USA boys, hey, flamingos for everybody. Get pitted with the command module. Check them out. Clinic RC, Tony went up and raced some carpet this weekend. Or carpet with Brock Champlin and his buddy's new track. Look badass. Check them out. Get your turnbuckles and all your filters. RCGP, which I will be a part of this weekend, which I'm looking forward to. House of RC, which you can watch RCGP through the media pack. JTP RC. Unfortunately for Teebs, it wasn't a weekend that he wanted. And I see the DR Race Shop had a race this weekend as well, and at David Runafalk's race, and that's his DR Race Shop. So thank you to all those guys. And RC Kevin. RC Kevin was really busy. He was at the Nationals this past weekend. All his videos were in French, but he said he had a couple in English. So yeah, thank you to all those awesome companies. If you guys wish to show them support, you can. There are links in the written description of this podcast. There's coupon codes, there's affiliate links. We got a little site. It helps us out. Please, everybody, help those out. Show the sponsors some love. Shows the podcast some love. All right, Max. I don't really have nothing else to talk about. I think we should just go right into RC news. And
we have a lot of stuff to go through.
Because we have a few things to go about. So this week's RC news is brought to you by High Tech RC. They have launched their new low-profile servo for 10-scale two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles. High Tech is excited to announce their latest DB Series brushless servo. The high-performance, low-profile DB778WP is manufactured with the high-technology industrial servo innovation The DB778WP's design and premium quality construction was built for demanding commercial applications, yet its superior torque also makes it the perfect hobby servo for 1/10, two-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive off-road buggies and touring cars. Engineered with ultra-efficient brushless motors, the high-resolution digital circuits, hardened steel gears, and an all-aluminum IP-67 rated waterproof case, the DB778WP excels when pushed to the limits on ultra-high bike carpet or clay tracks. Take on the competition and drive hard, knowing you are backed by Hi-Tech's 2-year warranty. They have a 2-year warranty on their servos, everybody, which affords you the added protection you deserve, and invest in the best with Hi-Tech. That's a long tongue-twisting ad read, and I did practice it a little bit, but I got it wrong.
I was thinking, like, do you have any clue what you were reading at one point? But yeah, for the listeners, those are good servos, and the 2-year sort of guarantee tells you a lot.
Yeah, Hi-Tech's serious about racing.
Yeah, and they're proud of what they do, you know.
Yeah, and since 1973, so check them out. Also, this part of the podcast is brought to you by Lugs Racing. Lugs Racing has over 55 years of combined RC experience. They have been testing treads, wheels, and rubber for performance. They have the Econ line of tires that were developed with racing budgets in mind. High quality but lower cost means that savings can be sent on to you, the racer. Check out their more premium style racing tires, the TQs and Protos, made using Lugs custom molds and proprietary rubber compounds. Tires are available in medium, soft, super soft, mega soft, and long wear. You can find them at www.lugsracing.com. Use the promo code NNRC Lugs in all caps, and you'll save 25% off your order. And Lugs was a big sponsor of this race that we're going to talk about today. But before we get to talking about the Nats, we have a few things I wanted to talk about that I watched in the news. So they raced in Italy this past weekend, and I see that Boots beat Ongaro, who I thought had COVID, but apparently I found out that his parents that have COVID, that's why he will not be able to attend RCGP, unfortunately, because he doesn't have anybody to fly with. And he beat Barufalo. So here we are. We was wondering what's going on with Boots the other day. You know what I mean? What's going on? He hasn't, got a new baby, beautiful little baby girl. Congratulations to him and Frederica. But he comes out and he beats two of the best in Italy. What track was this at, Max? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Actually, I wanted to look that up, but I tried looking it up and I was not sure. It wasn't a national race. It was the warm up for a national race.
Oh, okay. It was just
1 week. Yeah, the 1 week back, actually, they had a race where Ongaro actually won. That was the first round, I believe, of the Italian National. So Ongaro won that, but Polito and Berton both were leading the race and both had issues. I think Berton had a flame out. Polito, I don't know what happened to him. So Ongaro kind of got lucky that time around. This time finished in second. Boots seemed, looking at the times, he seemed rather dominant. So surprising, to be honest, since Boots hasn't had the best of luck recently. He hasn't raced too much. I mean, he was fast at Montpellier, just a really bad luck with the wet semi. But the wet semi, actually, because they didn't ever run to final. But yeah, I think Boots is a sort of a question mark, to be honest, but this result is promising. I gotta be honest though, Ongaro is definitely struggling. Hearing from people who are in Italy, who have talked with people around that Italian scene, Ongaro definitely isn't that happy with the new car. But hard to say sort of what his speed actually is. The fact that he's struggling with Berton and Polito and now getting lost at Boots doesn't promise any good. But I mean, he can definitely turn it around. Hard to say where he is at right at the moment. But yeah, I'm not sure. I saw Valente was DQ, but he had like DNF'd after a few minutes. So hard to really say. So what happened at these? Like these Italian races are crazy because the level in Italy is actually a lot higher than people realize. Like Valente, Polito, Barufalo, Ongaro, Berton, all of these guys are capable of winning when it's their day, because Valente is fast at tracks that really suit him.
Hmm.
He's generally abroad. He's not that fast. Polito, same thing. When he's on it, he's on it. Barufalo, Berton, and Ongaro are these are the guys who can be very fast abroad as well. But if they're not having the day that they are sort of on top of their game, they can easily get like beat by some of these other Italians. So the
Hmm.
Italian scene is very sort of very very competitive, and yeah, it's kind of hard to judge from the outside of what's going on. But in my opinion and sort of my assessment, losing the boots is a bit of
That's
a
why
scratch
I was
in
shocked to see
Ongaro's
that. I was
seal.
shocked to see it.
Yeah,
Angara wouldn't want to be losing into Boots. You don't want to lose to
yeah.
Barufalo either. And that's no disrespect to Boots in any form, but yeah.
No, but more of like how dominant Ongaro has been recently.
Yes,
Like
yes.
he's been winning every race he's gone to for the
In
past
Italy,
3 or 4 years. Yeah,
it's
and
definitely
even
something
like
up.
abroad, like Ongaro is like in past 4 years. There's a very few races where he has looked like he's not the winning candidate.
Also, he's going back to some orange in his body. 'Cause
He has.
yes,
I
I saw
didn't
that
see any
too. Yes.
pictures.
So, because I saw Aiden Horn comment on it, and I was like, "Oh, you went back to the orange," and I was like, "Oh yeah," because I will tell you this: I was having such difficulty determining his car at DNC. Him and Spencer's car look
Yeah,
so much alike,
yeah.
so much alike. I was like, "Why did he go?" I love that
But
orange look. You know what I mean?
if Davide Ongaro ever listens to this podcast, please go back to the white, orange, blue, the
Yes.
body scheme. That was amazing. When he won Neo, that body style, I loved it.
Mhm.
I love that old scheme. I mean, I think what he's doing. He's like every year he has a new scheme. He sticks to that one year, then he switches it up a bit. I get that. I mean, it's refreshing. I do it myself recently a bit too. But yeah, Ongaro, please, like that old scheme, I freaking loved it. But yeah.
It's scheme, Max, not scheme.
Scheme? Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
scheme.
English is my third
I know
language.
it reads scheme. I know
Yeah.
it reads scheme, but it's actually scheme. Or maybe we're saying it wrong. You know?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he needs to go
yeah.
back to the orange. Needs to go back to the orange. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
good
mean,
win for Boots, I would say.
yeah, but Boots definitely good. Like this is beating Ungaro, beating Barufalo. Berton wasn't here, but all the guys, everything. He beat everyone, looked good, looked solid. Okay, Valente was TQ, but I mean, qualifying is a bit of a like Americans probably don't get it, but we usually like if you go to a years or something, you get 2-3 days of practice and then you qualify. So everyone has their speed up by qualifying. But these local races, it's like 2 rounds of qualifying, 2 rounds of practice, and 3 rounds of qualifying or something like this, which is similar to American style. But for us, it's not a lot. So the Europeans a lot of times get their shit together by the semis. So the judging qualifying is a bit different here in Europe, I think. Especially these local races. When it's Euros or something like this, then it's different.
Okay. Well, good stuff. There was another big national race
Mhm.
in oh wow, it's not, why is it not live? Okay. So there was another big national race that actually had some good inclinations or some good strategy going in. Because I was talking to Barkan and they flew out Friday to go to the Spanish Nets, which was Saturday and Sunday in Redovan. So I know they went there to get some practice and, see, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been paying attention because I hadn't seen this layout. I think they did it last year. He said they did it last year.
Oh, they did it in. I think they already switched in 2019. It has been there
Really?
for way before COVID.
Okay, so I don't know
They
why
had
I'm
it.
just noticing this, but maybe I didn't pay attention to it. Maybe because I don't know. But there probably hasn't been any races there for a while, have there?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when COVID, I
Yeah,
hard
they
like
changed
I
the layout
again
and then COVID struck.
again. Yeah, the thing is like I'm pretty sure the Euros were supposed to be there 2020, but I mean, freaking can't
Right.
remember anymore. It's COVID. I was no army at the time. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm pretty sure they were supposed to have a Euros or something at the track, and they switched it in 2019. That's my sort of
okay.
gut feeling. Don't know the exact facts, but it was way before this year. And I'm like, I'm saying it now, but I really, really hope they redo the track before the Worlds, because yeah,
You
I'm
don't like
I'm
it?
just sick and tired of. I mean, no, the track is fine. I mean, there are a lot of like the thing about the track is there's so many corners and so many jumps that you're not gonna like at least few of them because the track is so long. But in my opinion, the biggest thing is I'm just sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, home advantage" and all this fucking
I am
bullshit.
too, but
So
I
that's why I
think to
hope they switch it,
I think
and
to
then
change that track
it's
is
fine.
going to be to completely change that track will be very hard because there's lots of brick sections and they put a
Oh
looks like
yeah,
they
yeah,
put
yeah,
another
yeah.
brick section in. So I think they'll change it. But I have to
No,
say, man, damn, I really do like the layout, like the jumping down and then going like
yeah.
I love it. It's so long.
Yeah, I mean
It's like
the brick sections are just a few sections. I think both of the brick sections are pretty amazing. Like I've driven on both of them because they were there in 2016 already. So I love both of them. So yeah, just keep them there. Just switch the track around that.
wow, Canas freaking well ran away with this. He just got out
Yeah,
to the lead and said, "See you later, everybody." Like there was
yeah,
not one person touching him. There was Robert was there, the
yeah,
Killex were there, Figueredo was there. Who else was
yeah.
there? A couple of other fast Portuguese guys. That guy, what's his
Well,
name?
Parente and Monteiro obviously I think were there.
Yeah,
Monteiro
Montero
actually
did pretty good actually.
yeah, but I think it was Canas, Batye, then Burak,
Burak and
Berkan,
Barkan.
and then Figueredo in
Yeah,
fifth. I can't remember anything after that. I didn't look at the results that good, but I remember the fact that Canas was 30 seconds clear of anyone else. So
dude,
that's
that's
that's nuts.
he
That's
was.
that's like Ongaro / Mayfield level domination,
Oh,
and
it
this is
was.
against Robert Batye. So
I'm
it's
watching
not
him and
like
I'm
it's
just like,
nobody.
I'm like, this guy looks like he's just out there having fun, like going around. Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you about this track. It has quite a bit of 180s, but they're fast
Mhm.
180s. They're like drifting,
Oh yeah,
like you know what I
yeah.
mean. It ain't no slow into a stop.
It's
It's like
yeah,
like
yeah.
180s, like coming around. Like
This
it
is
ain't no.
this is South European 180s. So you gotta. It's nothing like anything else. It's like like 180s are the most sort of throttle consuming corners you can have in Europe at times. I feel
Dude,
like
it's like no slow spots on this track. I think the slowest spot on this
no,
track
no.
is actually when you come off the and you go up the straightaway past the pits. That's probably the slowest
Yeah,
180 on the whole track.
the last corner before the pit straight, that's the
Yeah,
slowest corner. It was the last time this layout the same thing. This track is
it's
it's
huge.
weird. It's weird at times, but the track is so big, you're kind of scared of going in the corners that fast. You can't sort of react to what the car does when you're going that fast at times. But
Like
yeah,
light
I
isn't
mean,
traveling back to your eyes fast enough to let you know how fast you turn the car.
and
That's how big
by
it
the
is.
way, the track is so big that you can feel the steering lag because like the radio distance doesn't travel. Like you can actually feel it. It's that far away. But yeah, one thing I want to say though, because otherwise I'm gonna forget about it. But Robert Bate has never, like he said, like in Spanish circles, everyone knows this, but he never liked this track. In 2016, he was battling for the win, but that like everyone thought that was a fluke because he always was really really bad at this track. This was like one of his worst tracks in Spain. In 2018, when Neo Race went there, he obviously won, which was great. But like, okay, Canas obviously won here, but this has always been one of Robert's worst track in Spain. So that's something we've got to take into account and sort of let people
Worst
know that
track, he's won her,
he has, but I
but he
just
doesn't
explained
like
it.
it.
Like, yeah, he has never liked it in Spanish Nats since the track was built to like, because I remember this was a huge topic 2016 because like every Spanish guy said Robert hates this track. Like he always is not good here. He struggles a lot. In 2016, he did well before the server broke. 2018, he won. So in at Neo. So yeah, he has done good at this track, but generally, at least my sort of what I've heard, what I've talked to people, Robert really doesn't like this track and it doesn't really suit him. Results wise, it doesn't seem too bad. We do seem to have some background music right now.
I know I'm playing
What's up
with
with
my
that?
new background music. Just continue. Just continue.
Yeah, that was mostly it. But Canas is scary good though.
Dude,
Canas is
all I
scary
got,
good.
I'm looking at this track and I'm just saying I can't wait to see Mayfield and freaking Tessman and Mason Fuller, who is now in the building, and all these
No,
guys.
I mean, okay. Before you get
And then
on your high horse with Mason Fuller,
we will get on that later. We'll get on that later.
okay.
I just can't wait to be at the Worlds and see the best of the best go around
Yeah.
this track. That's all.
I gotta say though, Mayfield's gonna be fast. At this track, he's gonna be fast.
I kind of had that feeling when I was watching the Robert and Killex out there, and and Canas with the pillowball cars, and I'm just like, these pillowball cars are gonna be so fast.
Like the fact that Mayfield, even on the worst possible track for his car, he can still challenge for the win against Phend when he's on it, and he can win almost any race in America. I'm pretty sure this year's gonna be tough for Ronafok and Ongaro. Like Ongaro has a car that I believe he's struggling with. Ronafok is like at this point, Ronafok is my favorite going into the Worlds. Even though he has a brand new buggy, he has barely raced it. One race behind his belt. Like at this point in my books, Ronafok is the favorite going into the Worlds. Like, yeah, Mayfield looks
really
good. But
I have Mayfield as a favorite, and then I have Phend. I'll be honest with you. I don't know.
Yeah?
We have to see what Ronafog. Look, of course I want Ronafog to win because that's my boy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna be oblivious to like Phend and freaking Mayfield's dominance right now.
No, but
like, you know what I mean?
No, but the thing is, like, Ronafok was one of the fastest guys at DNC. He was
yes, and he's
best
fast at this
speed,
track too.
Very good consistency, and he's always done good at this track. He's gonna get now 6 months with his new car against 2 weeks, so he has a lot of more practice on him. I mean, I know for a fact there's new things coming onto the car before the Worlds that are gonna be working pretty well.
Jeez,
So,
you're really
like-
confident. You're really confident, but hey, you can't count out Mayfield, Phend.
Oh no,
And these guys,
but I mean,
Tebow,
I'm like
these guys,
in
Tebow's
my
gonna love this
mind,
track.
if I'm okay, Tebow is not gonna be a player.
Yeah, this is
Tebow has the right attitude. Tebow is doing the right things. But
we'll talk about this later. We're
Sorry.
getting into a discussion of drivers, but too early. Anyway, congratulations to
But
Canas. I just
Yeah,
can't wait for this
congrats,
Worlds
Canas.
to come up here. Canas is looking
by the way,
mighty snappy out there.
he's
So he has to
very
be a favorite going into
underrated.
this race. He has
Canas
to be a
is
favorite
very
going into this
underrated.
race.
He has to be because he's very, very underrated at this point. Like, people think of him as the shadow of Robert Battier.
No, he's past Robert Battier now.
Exactly.
Robert
Like,
Battier.
people think of him as a shadow of Robert Battier, the upcoming kid from Spain. Fuck that. That's all news, guys. This kid is the Ongaro challenging youngster from Spain. This kid is the only one who can, in my opinion, beat Ongaro in his prime in Southern Europe, apart from David on a good day.
He's kind of like my Mason Fuller kicking in the door and saying,
No,
I'm here.
But
he can beat
Canas
all
will be-
those guys. But that's I'll explain my theory later. Because I have some
But
real
Canas
scientific theory.
had-
Some scientific
had
evidence
his-
to back this up.
Canas had his Mason Fuller moment 3 years ago. Now he's the
He's
Phend of
21,
Europe.
22 years old. Mason Fuller isn't even 18 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, Canas had his Mason Fuller kicking in the door moment way back.
Okay,
But at
yes.
this point, Canas is like, in
He's
my
number one in
opinion,
Spain, I would
no,
say.
but like, come on, top three in Europe right now is Ongaro, Ronefo, Canas, not in specific order.
Hmm. I would
In
agree.
my
with that.
opinion, Ongaro is looking the weakest of the three, thanks to the new associated car.
You
Sorry
are
for
just
saying out
hating on the
loud.
associated car. You was all
No, but
swinging off
come
associated's
on.
nuts last year.
Exactly. But they changed the car and they changed exactly what I thought was the wrong way to do it. And I'm sorry, but okay, Rivkin got
No,
fourth,
you're gonna have
so that's
associated hating you.
okay. I know. But the thing is, I said all these things last year, like you should do this and this and this, and they did it kind of the opposite. And surprise, surprise, people aren't doing that well with the car. So that's why I'm saying, like, if they like, like, okay, hands down, Ongaro takes his 3.2 out, he wins the worlds.
But it's still far away. They can figure it out by then. Take it easy. Jesus.
He can, but with this car at this point, I'm not picking him for top three.
Jesus,
With
Max.
with 3.2 associated RCA 3.2, I'm
Jesus.
picking him for the win.
Hey.
That's what I'm feeling right now.
we're
Okay,
gonna-
like, okay, let's clear the air a bit. If things change, if I see something new, if I see him doing well, I mean very open to changing my opinion. But right at this very point, seeing how he gets beat by Boots in Italy, how Rivkid just about finishes fourth at Nats, how these guys barely make the main at DNC. That's my opinion right now. And all credit to the Associated Squad. I think they have
Oh my
done a lot
gosh,
of good
Max.
stuff. But sorry. I mean I'm creating a lot of enemies right now. But I mean I have been very consistent.
Maybe
I
will pick up new
the car
TLR
needs.
friends.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, Barry
Oh, you'll
Baker is he gonna be my friend now?
Hey, I'm gonna talk to
I don't
Barry,
know.
but he definitely wants to have
But
some words for you.
I gotta apologize to Barry. I think they got it a little bit more figured out than I thought. Not completely, but a little bit more than I thought. So I
Hey,
gotta
but
give
his
him
car
some.
looked good. His car looked good, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Fend was good.
I think that's it for Spanish Nationals news. Oh, X-Ray released their new XB8 2022 presentation. Did you see that?
Yeah, they had new wing mount and wing.
Yes.
And
Did you see how it
a
connects to
few
like the
new-
chassis brace?
Yeah, that's like
I
okay.
won-
X-Ray released 4 new parts, and that was a completely new car. Like, I'm sorry, like I usually like X-Ray because they're European, they do everything in house. But come on, like this is fucking ridiculous. They released new wing mount.
No,
and new
you
wing,
want extra.
That's it.
What is it? Are you just going after every single thing that's pillow ball today? No, it's
No,
X-Ray.
no. I'm going after everything that's fucking silly at the moment. Like I'm gonna be praising TLR today. Not fully praising, but I'm gonna give them something. So, and I'm gonna give some to Mugen too. Like Mayfield finished second after.
Yeah,
all,
you
so
are
it's
all
not
excited
that
about
bad.
Mugen. But you know what? You've forgotten completely about your HB rear end, because that's what you was all about last week was HB rear end.
Mason was
HB rear
third.
end.
Mason was third, and
No, but you talking about
like
HB rear end on S-Works.
yeah, but I mean he finished sixth. That's
Yeah,
we're still talking
he wasn't
about
as consistent. Look, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Look, you know what? Let's start talking about the Nats, because that's obviously what we want to
because
talk about.
we just always like obviously we're trying to go towards there. So let's
You know what? It's time to talk about the 20,000. Why do I want to say 20,022 Raw Nats? 2022 Fuel Raw Nationals held in Glendale, Arizona at Tim Lime Track, Adobe Mountain RC Speedway. This is brought to you by TNR Fuels, because here at the NNRC, we're all about the glory, and that glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest nitro fuel on the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family. Made by racers for racers. The fuel is currently available throughout the USA, and he has international shipping worked out, I believe. For more information, contact Chris Nelson at Chris at TNR Fuels or visit them at www.tnrfuels.com. You can also find them at House of RC or Facebook. Give them a shout. Chris and his family are nice people, and they're putting in a lot of work. And he TQ'd this weekend. So congratulations to him in the Masters class, which I've changed my mind on, by the way, which I'll talk about a little bit. But Max, huh?
Who's paid you?
No, I've changed my mind. I'll tell you why in a little bit about that.
Okay.
So we had the Raw Nationals this past weekend, Max, my absolute favorite race next to DNC of the year. One of my favorite American races, just because this is the one race where for once you get to really see where people are at because there's no classes. Mm-hmm. It's raced in IFMAR style, which I enjoy. So we got a lot more racing. And as much as I do not like current Raw situations, I love this race and what it stands for, and being a national champion and all that stuff. And
you know what? Let me interrupt you for a second. I've been on my savage mode today, so I'm gonna continue with that. The only reason why Roar Nats is a good race is because Roar is too slow to fuck it up. Roar is too slow to adapt to anything, so they haven't got time to fuck it up completely. Like, they have tried. Like, this year they had the junior and 40 plus class. Like, they have done so much stupid shit, but thank God they're too slow to completely fuck the shit up. And they still have, like, if more bump ups. Even in Truggy, they had ladder mains. Like,
yeah, but they always do ladder mains in Truggy because there's not.
Okay. So
it's not a IFMAR class. So that's their excuse. Well, what you're saying is this race basically runs on heritage.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
So,
okay.
Thank God Roar has some kind of heritage that they haven't completely fucked it up yet.
See, now this was from Max, not from me. This is from Max, not from me.
But I know. I see in your eyes that you love what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm Switzerland on this one.
You ain't Switzerland or nothing.
Oh man, I'm having a good podcast. So anyway, we had this nationals. Congratulations to Tim Lime and his crew. They pulled it off. I know how much work he put into this. It wasn't without its hiccups. Yeah. But that's gonna happen at a race that hasn't really held any big races, and this is their first big race. But I think they pulled it off without any hitches that I don't know of. I know they had some loop issues, but they were quick to fix that with people. Like, if you did a 60-second lap or 62-second lap or whatever, they knew you kind of missed the loop. I guess it was too late to fix that. That was about it. Wind was a big issue. I don't know if you watched the Truggy man, dude, but during the Truggy man, it was like a dust storm. Like,
yeah, I think that's the biggest issue when you're running daytime.
It's the desert,
at a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's daytime and desert. That's what you got. You got a lot of wind. But I mean, let's be honest here. Like, these guys barely had a track 6 months ago. Now they're hosting Roar Nats, so that's amazing. Like, the fact that they did that's
yes. So kudos to them. The track at first, I was like, meh. That after I got to watch it, and then it made for great racing. We had we had Phend kind of ran away with it in Truggy, but we really didn't have runaway racing. You know what I mean? Buggy, it wasn't a runaway. It could have been, but we'll talk about that. It was always racing in the background, and I think people would talk about DNC, but this track had a different type of roughness than DNC. I want to say the bumps were more rounded. So like DNC, like there would be a hole that wasn't there before. Like this happened at this track. It looked like it, but the holes just got bigger and you knew how to use them and stuff like that. And I think at the end of the day, I think the first day they did the practice, like the free practice, they had some issue with the dust. So the dust must have been blown over to the go-kart track. So then they actually put something in the water, like a dust control additive. And they put a minute bit in it, and they watered it. And I think by the end of with the wind I think it came out great. I like the track. I think all the jumps were doable. You know what I mean? They weren't big.
Yeah, but I think that's something. I mean, I remember when we talked about after the NC, like I said, Joey just jumps too big. That's like Anthony was the guy that's pretty much the exact opposite, where no matter how bad it jumps break up, you can still do him. So I think that's like on the layout, I gotta give full props to Anthony.
Mhm.
Like
Option line
personally,
worked perfectly.
that too, but like personally, I don't really like care about what style of the track is.
Mhm.
Anthony has a very different style to Joey, but this was one of best of Anthony's tracks, and like I think his first Roar Nats track, and yeah, fully sort of
Yeah.
good results on that. So yeah, props to him. Shout out to
Yeah,
him.
dude. Everybody was talking about the option line, but it worked. It was fast
worked.
both ways.
Yeah, and that's how. Like I remember when we did it in RCGP, a lot of people didn't do the other line, but when we tried it in testing, it was exactly the same speed. So Anthony he knows how to do the option lines. He's probably only people who actually gets them right a lot of times. So yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. So congratulations. Like a lot of people online were complaining about it. And I was like, these people don't know what, like, that's okay. There wasn't a real straightaway, but it made for good racing. Like I liked it. I think they made the best that they could out of what they had.
Yeah, straightaways
shape
isn't that big a deal, guys. Like, chill down with the straightaways. You don't always feel it.
let's
Sometimes
talk
it's
about
nice.
let's talk about qualifying. So we had 2 exciting days of qualifying. I watched every minute of it, I think. So I did record a podcast while buggy qualifying was going on. But I was able to catch the last seeding. So Tebow, Mason Fuller seeding on in the C main, Tebow in the B main. That had to stay with that all week. But I actually think that helped them. I actually think it helped them because it helped them water wise, because they seem to always get a track that had some water on it. Mm-hmm. And that was a big help. It was a big difference in speed there. So, but Tebow went out and qualified, did 2 runs in truck, and I was like, yeah, he's feeling it. Even you, I was like, yeah, look at Tebow, you know?
Yeah, I definitely underestimated him at start, but then, yeah, sort of dropped down back after the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, he qualified. He got a TQ in buggy, and then he had like a low number in the last qualifier. And then he was fast the next day. He was, like, in my opinion, the only person that had really that I think could have gotten pipped off. Him and Phend had some good battles the next day for TQ, but man, Phend is just Phend. Like, I mean, I think it was the last buggy qualifying, he was nowhere on, and we thought like Tebow was gonna, it was gonna go 2 and 2 or whatever. But Phend just comes out and like, bam, yeah, nah, I'm TQ in 3 rounds.
Yeah,
this is all one
of Fend's like clear qualifying rounds, he was like 5-6 seconds clear of the field. Like, come on, like very very rarely you see that happen. That's like a second a lap, almost half.
But still, at this point, I was still very hopeful in Tebow still winning. I was very hopeful in it.
Tebow looked good until the main, I think. Like, I mean, I'm sorry I don't have the results up, but I believe he won his semi, right?
Yeah, he won his semi. He started first. He looked good in his semi.
Yeah,
he was in the slower semi. He was in the slower semi too.
But Mayfield won his semi, Tessman second. Tebow won his semi. Can't remember who was second, but yeah, Tebow, in my opinion, Tebow looked good all weekend. But I think I think he finished 6th. I don't think that's what his level this weekend was, really.
No.
I think it was higher up. For sure.
Let's talk about Truggy first, because I know you don't like Truggy much, but it was a good main. Dakotah Phend actually, okay, so I said nobody will run away with it. Well, Dakotah Phend, he got out to first on lap 1 and then stayed in first until lap 92. So he did run away with it. I don't think really anybody at any point had anything for Phend and Truggy. I will say this. One person I thought that had something for him. And when he finally got around Mayfield and started chasing him down, that's when he was out of the race, and that was Mason Fuller. I thought that if Mason Fuller could get around Mayfield in time, he could have hunted down. That was my feeling when I was watching it. You know what I mean? I think he had this pace, and I think when he was in the back of the pack trying to catch Mayfield and getting caught up, because in the back of the pack it was a max, it was a max, like it was like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. That was all close. So I think once he got across that and he came out of that I think he came out of his pit and everybody think he flamed or something happened. His dad said something that he pulled a shock in, but I don't know if what happened. But like his car cut out and he didn't come back. But I think that Mason Fuller at that point was the only one that had something for Phend to be honest.
Yeah.
In Truggy. And then Mayfield just kind of like, I think he kind of figured that out himself and just stood there, and he tried to mount a charge at some point, but he kind of got caught up battling with Tebow and Tessman at some point. Like them guys were kind of battling at some point for, they were always battling, it seemed like. Tebow made it up to second and third and fourth and second and back. And then even Tessman at some point, he was up, he made it up to fourth, was his highest. He never got up any higher, but he was definitely, they were all at some point mixed up together, racing each other.
Yeah.
So, and then in fifth, Cole Ogden, I think was a great result for him because he at one point was way down in 11th. So he had to work his way up and get, I think Cole, maybe he doesn't want a top 5. Maybe he wants a win or a podium. But I think top 5 coming from 11th is good enough for, I think that's where he was at that point. So Truggy was good. Congratulations to Dakotah Phend, his first ever Nitro national championship, because he's never won a Nitro national championship.
No, he has won Truggy. Truggy he has won. Truggy he has won at least twice.
Okay, I did not know that.
At least once. I'm pretty sure he's won it twice. Buggy he has never won.
Well, I'll Google
he
that.
has won every, in my sort of memory, he has won every single class at least once, except for Nitro Buggy.
Really?
Yes. So I remember he won at Thornhill. He won Nitro Truggy. In Buggy he was leading, and then he flipped over at the right side of the track. And then the kid was getting his car. It took like 15, 20 seconds, and then Mayfield and Tessman ran away with the race. But Phend, in 2014, Phend won 9 Roar national titles, and Nitro Buggy was the only one he didn't win. He won everything electric and Nitro Truggy. So,
okay, see,
but
so
anyway,
that's where I like kind of my whole thing of the okay, all right.
But
so I wasn't
Nitro
sure.
Buggy, though. This was the
he's
first
never
Nitro
won
Buggy
Nitro
win.
Truggy. Never won Nitro Buggy.
Nitro Buggy. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
He came close at that 20. I remember that 24. That was another big, humongous outdoor track.
Yeah, but Phend was dominant in Buggy. He had like a 5-second lead, and then that sort of 15-second crash where the kid barely got his car out of the ditch. That sort of killed his race. Then Tessman and Mayfield ran away, but yeah. Phend, like, it was a long time coming, and I'm happy Phend finally got his Roar national champion. Kind of like Mayfield and the 10 scale worlds. Sort of finally he got it. I think this is a bit more rewarding for Phend because he sort of dominated it, whereas Mayfield just barely got it in 10 scale in the worlds. I mean, not like discrediting Mayfield's worlds win in 10 scale, but for Phend, this was sort of like the Roar Nats win he sort of deserved, in my opinion, in Buggy.
Right. So yeah, you are correct. He has won it twice. So he is a 3-time Truggy champion, which is great.
Yeah.
But everybody really, I bet you people was out there with 4 Truggy championships would trade 2 of them in for 1 Buggy championship.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
this is a championship that has eluded him for many, many years.
Yeah. Never won it.
But let's just say real quick before we move on, because I know we want to talk about Buggy. Congratulations to him. Let's just go down the order real quick. Cavallari, I think that's a good 6th for him. Ryan Lutz, a good 7th. He showed some pace throughout the week.
I gotta be honest though, I was expecting a bit more from Lutz.
Maybe a top 5.
I was expecting him to at least show up with the fight, because this was, in my opinion, this was more of a Kyosho track than a lot of the other tracks in America. Perhaps I could be wrong. I mean, this was a TLR track too, in a sense. I'll rephrase that. This was a Phend track more than a lot of other American tracks are. But this, in my opinion, this was sort of a city hub track though. The 180s, the low me, dirt, slow speed, that's not suiting any of the pillow ball cars. So in my opinion, even with the new Kyosho, which is suited more towards higher speed tracks, I think Lutz probably should have done a bit better. But okay, Lutz's driving style is a bit different. He like to slide the car around. He wants to really punch. This isn't that type of truck, so perhaps that could explain it. But yeah, personally I was expecting more from Lutz. It's not a disaster, but
No, but yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
wished a bit more. You know,
I wish
was
you would have got some
expecting-
top five. I wish you would have got top fives.
Yeah,
I wish you would have.
Agreed.
Who else do we have? Tanner Denny. Tanner Denny was actually probably the fastest S-Works driver there this week. I actually think I have Tanner Denny faster than
Yeah?
Bornhorst. Yeah, because he was good in his semi. I
No,
think
but
in
I
his
mean-
semi he flamed out. A rock got in his
Yeah,
flywheel.
that was
I
the
think.
talking point before, but
Yeah.
I
it
mean,
happened to Mayfield too. Mayfield
but
got a rock in his flywheel in one of his qualifiers too.
yeah, I heard that. But I mean, Bornhorst finished second in one buggy round. He finished sixth in all-round buggy. I mean, Truggy, not sure. I can't remember when Bornhorst finished.
No,
but-
Bornhorst didn't even make the Truggy mains.
Okay, so
He
Bornhorst
finished 15th.
sucked in Truggy. Okay.
So
well,
yeah, Tanner
but
Denny.
who? Okay.
Tanner
who
Denny
cares
was a
about
lot
Truggy?
faster this week than he was at DNC.
Okay, yeah, I'll accept that. But in buggy, in my opinion, Bornhorst looked really good all weekend. I was a bit disappointed seeing he finished. I can't remember if it was 6th or 7th, but he was.
Don't forget, we haven't got
outside
the
top.
truck. We haven't got the buggy yet, Max. You're so excited.
Let's move on.
Yes, don't stop interrupting me. All right, so running off your top 13, top 12. Tanner Denny, Tyler Jones. He would, he needs to do better than that too. Aiden Horn, glad he probably made the main. Rivkin, Mason Fuller breaking early. People that probably are looking, that probably should have been in this main looking out. I think CJ Jalen, Joe Bornhorst, maybe Cole Tollard, Zeph Van Dalen not in there would be a big thing. And then I think Pravitas was all the way down in 33rd. He wouldn't be happy with that. But he did make the buggy main, so that's good.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can't really say for Americans, but generally the vibe I get, no one really cares about Truggy.
Well,
like, not even Americans.
I mean, if they win it, it's good.
Yeah, but if they're outside the top 5, it's like whatever. It's just practice.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to the big enchilada. What we're really here for. That's all about the glory.
Finally,
Nitro Buggy. Yeah. So, qualifying once again was exciting. It wasn't wrapped up in 3 rounds. It took all 4 rounds, and it was exciting to the very end when Phend just came up and said, "Oh, Tebow, you think you got a chance? You think you got a chance? You think?" It's like that guy holding that dollar. You ever seen that commercial with the fishing guys holding the dollar in front of the guy? Like, "Oh, you think you got a dollar? You think you got a dollar, eh?" That's kind of like what Dakotah Phend did to Tebow. "Oh, you think you got overall TQ, eh? You think you got it? Ah, no, I'll take my TQ, thank you."
Yeah.
There was nobody else.
But
there was nobody else even to
crazy.
mention in this. Well, Mason, there was nobody else to mention in this qualifying battle besides Dakotah Phend and Tebow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But I was a bit surprised how sort of, because first round of qualifying, Phend seemed kind of out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Second round, just domination. Like,
Yeah,
he's
like what
like
happened?
after that, he just flipped. Like the guy just, I don't know what happened to him, but like after that, just complete domination. And like the thing is, like, people most likely don't really like, they just think, oh, Phend got TQ, but TQing by 5 seconds, that's like, you know, if I TQ by 5 seconds, like, I know everyone who's looking at my times are gonna be like, oh shit, I got some job like I have some work to do, like I have no chance. Like, they're looking at the guy who's second when I TQ by 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So when Phend does that at that level, where even the second gap is hard to close, that's gotta be like demoralizing for almost every one of the guys. Like, I'll count Mayfield out of that because Mayfield doesn't care about qualifying. He barely attends qualifying these days. He just shows up for the main. But but all of the other guys, like, they must be like, okay, we're fucked. We've lost this already, because that's
Dude,
like
he was the
5
only one to
seconds
do a
is
13 lap qualifying buggy.
Yeah, like
Only one.
that's a huge thing for, like, mentally. That's a
Mentally.
huge thing to be like, yeah, this guy's going into another lap. I'm not even close, and I'm pushing as hard as I can.
Yeah, it's pretty.
When you're going into a 45-minute main with that attitude, you're gonna have a tough time, you know.
That's a little bit, I would say.
Yeah,
Just a little bit. But you know, I still was kind of just like when he did that, when he finally TQ'd, I still had hope going into Sunday. I was like, I still had faith and hope in Tebow because we've seen Phend do this before. We've seen him do this before. And in the back of my mind, it's like, well, Mayfield's like fonded. Like, you know what I mean? His semi, he looked super on it. In his truck, he wasn't okay. He was off in truck, but you know, he was the fastest. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right,
yeah,
Mayfield's in the groove. Like, we gotta throw him in there. I still was not. I was still like, all right, we've been here with Phend before. I've been through these emotions before in life, especially with Phend, you know? So I know this feeling of like I wasn't getting too excited. You know, I was happy that he won Truggy. So, you know, half of the prophecy is fulfilled again. But, you know, I was just like, all right, I'm going to be quiet. Because I still deep down, I'm in my soul and on her, I'm like, all right, I think Phend can do it. But I really want Tebow to do it. And I don't want Mayfield to do it. Not that I have anything against Mayfield. I just want to see somebody different, and I want it to be a good race, right? But then
when someone wins every week, and you gotta hope for something to change a bit, you know.
Well,
like,
yeah, like
I mean, Mayfield's one of my favorite racers in the world, pretty much. But when he wins every time, I'm like, okay, let's see someone else actually do good for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you. So with that being said, I kind of just was like, all right, we'll put it on her. By the way, I do not own the rights to any of this.
Yeah,
video.
thanks to Live RC, by the way.
Yeah,
Live RC. What I've heard, I didn't watch a lot of the stuff. I watched the main.
Excellent coverage. Cameras were great too.
Yeah, that's what I heard exactly. People really, really liked it. So yeah, good job to people at Live RC. Like,
yeah, good time to Tyler Hooks, Brandon Rose, and Rody and those guys. They did a great job. Yeah. So here we are. We get taken off, and I'm like, all right, so we're gonna have a little battle. Fenn's looking a little edgy, blah blah blah. You know, Mayfield's gonna pressure him. Then Tasman blows the front end off his car on this lap. Who would have ever thunk that? Like, he literally blew the front end off his car, or something broke on
retirement way early on, like retirement. That's gonna be a bummer. I think this is sort of a Testament style track, but I mean, like at this stage, like obviously, if this track was smooth as hell, Phend would be lapping Mayfield in 5 minutes. Like, this layout is a Phend layout. The bumps help Mayfield and these other guys, but like every sort of acceleration these guys have, like the pillowball end of Mayfield's car, the Mugen style setup of car, that's not helping Mayfield at this style of track. He can't carry the corner speed he usually could. Phend has a record that's super responsive, that when you go on throttle, it goes straight, it accelerates straight. And I think this is a good time to say to Barry Baker, I gotta say that I was expecting like the bumps to be the nemesis, but I think it's just bumps in corners that's the nemesis, because this track is mostly 180s. This track is mostly sort of straight accelerations onto bumps or into bumps, either way, like braking or accelerating, you're going on over bumps. But you really don't have many corners where you have to drive over bumps and keep your speed up. So I think that's the sort of determining factor that let Phend keep it on the wheels.
That was it for Tebow right there. Sorry. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was it for Tebow right there. He could not. I think that once he got like that, put him so far back that he just couldn't. Like, once you have to get through that gaggle, it was hard to get back.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think, like, but let's be honest, though. Mason Fuller third, running an HB, that's not an accident. Come on. That's not an accident. It's not good. This was just, like, the car suited this track. Like, look at this car. He's having a field day right now. Like, he's just driving around, throttling around. Like, I wish we get some footage of Phend, but I bet Right now, he's looking at every single move he's doing on the wheel, every single move he's doing on the throttle, and Mason is just having a like driving around, loving the way he's driving.
Yeah, he looked like
I
his
gotta
car
be
looked
I gotta be surprised though. Mayfield led the main 2 times,
2 times. That's it.
so he got the lead for 2 times, but looking
He
at the
gave it
track,
back.
knowing his car, that is impressive in my books. Like that is already impressive. And but I mean, here, look at this. Like Mason's catch Mayfield. Like that's something I think it proves these sort of Mayfield and like Phend. Like if Mason has 6 months more of like practice, getting dialed in, getting his speed up, like this is a guy who can dominate him. This is a guy who can dominate like Testman did at his best.
Yeah. Seth Van Dalen had a few minutes of really good driving her. At one point, he
Yeah,
had a good
yeah.
battle with Mason. It was good to see him up in the battles for a little bit as well.
I'm wondering why he was so good at this race, because this doesn't look like anything where he would be that good. He's always been good at Silver State. That has been his sort of go-to race. He's TQ'd the race once. He finished second once. He's been up there every single year. That's sort of a techno style track. I don't really know what about this track makes him be so good. Maybe it's the slow speed, perhaps, but the track is still very different to the tracks he usually does good on. So I was surprised
I
to see
think,
him do that well.
yeah, I think fifth for Seth Van Dalen is damn good. He hasn't had a good. Well,
Yeah.
he finished
Oh,
second.
yeah.
Something. But I mean, like at the Nationals last year, I don't think he was in the main, but it wasn't a factor.
Yeah.
Top techno driver at the Nationals, it was him. Then Tebow second. I mean Tebow after him in sixth. So I think Seth Van Dalen should be very happy.
Oh,
With,
yeah,
he would want
he's-
more. He would want more,
No, but fifth.
but that will come.
Looking at what he's done in the past 12 months, apart from Silver State, obviously, this has been his best race, in my opinion. Like finishing sixth at Royal Nats, where everyone puts their 100% in, that's not nothing.
Yeah. So it was good to see. I mean, we had some early battles. I mean, Bornhorst was up her, rattling. I mean, this was really where the race was.
Yeah.
Was that
I gotta be honest,
third,
though.
fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh positions.
Yeah. Bornhorst was up there all the time, but I was expecting a bit more out of Bornhorst. Like clearly, if you look at this, his car looks good though. It's not like his car is not looking good. I'm pretty sure he's still running the HP rear end. He was good in qualifying. He finished second a few rounds. At least one round he finished second, I believe. And he finished quite high up most of the time in qualifying. I think he's just a bit of sort of the guy who, if he's in his groove, if he's up front, he knows what to do. He can get it done. But if he's in the pack, he sort of tries a bit too hard and makes mistakes. Even here, we can see him making a lot of like sort of a bit dumb mistakes. But in my opinion, his car looks a lot better than Seth's in front of him. Like he's consistently, he's looking good. So I think if S-Works decide to finally go this direction, especially in America, they will receive much better results. And yeah, I mean, I talked about the HB end a lot in previous podcast, and yeah, in my opinion, it shows it still works, but clearly it's not enough to make Joe Barnes the national winner yet. Fender Mayfield and these guys are just on another level.
Yeah, I was wondering if we was gonna see the DNC Bornhorst show up. I'm not no like he would want a better position than seventh as well. But I think for a national, as hard as this race probably was and whatnot, and him not making Truggy, he'd probably be happy with this. Well, he probably wouldn't be, but at the end of the day, seventh isn't too bad. I mean,
It's not that bad. It's okay. It's not good.
It's
not
it's
bad.
average.
It's okay. Yeah,
It's average.
Sadly, I mean, I'm not taking his above average status away from him, but this result was sort of average, you know.
Yeah, but that's how it goes some days. Sometimes.
Oh
when
yeah,
he's racing.
yeah.
He would end up finish that. Yeah. All right. So I guess we might as well just go through the people here, and then we can talk about like.
By the way, first thing I want to, so the final thing I want to bring up is this is what I thought before. J Concepts is freaking dominating right now.
Hey, I was gonna bring that up. That's a topic for after. Let's finish going through this, and then we'll do it
Okay,
because that's
okay.
one of my topics that I had.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So, and that's exactly where it's gonna start off with. So, let's go through the rest of these guys. So, like people had to bump up from semis to this. So, how people we forgot to talk about something, which was the LCQ. So, how it worked was they took the top 4 from each race, and then they took the 2 fastest racers after that. Now, Dakotah Phend automatically was in, which I still think is a great thing. I think TQ should go straight through to the mains. I think it should be at IFMAR as well. And I think he should get both practice sessions so he does get that time on the track. So he was already in. They were only taking 12. So, it's a small track. I think they took 12. I think that's the number they take because I think they took 12 at last year.
So there's 12 right now in the main. So I think what they did is Phend, then 4 from each main, then 2. So they got at that point they got 10 people. And
no, that's 11.
11 people. Sorry, because Phend counts as 1, and then they take 1 from LCQ.
Now the LCQ was actually their first time ever doing this, which is another thing I have to give Raw and whoever had this idea. I think it was great. I love LCQs. It was a 10-minute, 14-car main, and Tanner Denny was looking to win it at one point. Like he was looking to be the clear-cut winner. And then, actually, I don't even know who won that. I need to go look and see who won. He was going to win it by so far, and then something happened. I can't remember what happened. Let's see. Super Pose.
By the way, one guy I was surprised to see in the main, Brandon freaking Rose.
He won it. That's why.
Yeah.
He won he won the LCQ.
Brandon ain't nobody no more,
No, he's been good he's been making mains for a while, though.
Yeah, but I think this is his first Raw Nats main. He's been making big mains for a while now, and he's running an Agama,
the only Agama there, I believe.
Yeah, so this is a guy who's making a name for himself. Super happy to see him in RCGP. I want to see what he's capable of. Yeah, sure. I mean, shout out to him.
All right, let's get back to. So obviously Ty was out after 1 lap. Cole Ogden, man. Let's see. Did he have any issues? Nope.
You know what? You remember what I've said in a past podcast?
Yeah, I think
am I surprised that Cole finished 11th? Of course not. If he finishes anything from 2nd to 25th, I'm never surprised. Never.
Yeah.
Because that's his level. He can be when he runs 10 races, he finishes every single time. He finishes between 2nd and 25th. So if he finishes below 25th or he wins a race, the first time I'm gonna be surprised because he can finish 2nd, then he can finish 5th, 10th, 15th, and then not make the main. And every single time, that's just normal for Cole. That's how this guy is at this point.
Well, he did have some abnormal. He didn't, in other words, he didn't have any missed laps or any. It didn't look like he might have had a flame out or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but his longest lap was a 45-second lap, and that was on lap 60, and he was in 10th. So I think he just blew out, man.
Yeah, I don't want to be
I know what you don't want to be, but
I hate the fact to be sort of negative against Cole because I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you just hate HP," or "Oh,
it's not that." But
it's not that. But let's be honest. This is a guy who has speed to win the Raw Nats, but usually what ends up happening is he crashes out in the first few laps, then just loses his mind and blows out.
Yeah, it's definitely all mental with him.
Yeah,
I think he's got the package and everything he needs.
He's got a good car. Mason has. Now he even has an OS-based engine, so he doesn't have that right. Testman has the same tires. Testman can win races. Hot race tires are good. That's not an excuse anymore. Okay, if you're running,
we're going to talk about tires more because I heard they were cutting tires as well. I disagree with you, man. I just I like Cole, and I think he's fast, and I like his character as the people's champion and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly what I
dig
want to
that.
see in RC. But I want to see him get some results too, and I know he can get
So,
results.
but I don't.
I know he
I
can
don't
get them.
think. You know what? I don't think he can.
Okay, well,
He needs
that's
to.
a great
He needs
argument
to
because he isn't
change.
getting them.
He needs to seriously think about his driving, think about his race program, and then he might get him. I think it's his attitude that's wrong. And I 100% know that if like Cole ever heard this, he's gonna be like, "Oh, Max is such an idiot." Because I mean, I've said, I mean, I've talked with him, and I know for a fact that he is gonna say this. But no driver who has their program together has results like this, where some races they almost win a row of nats and then they're disqualified, and then other races they barely make the main. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, even after saying that, I think if Cole ever heard this, he'd disagree. But I think most people here can understand. And I gotta be honest though, I love what he's doing outside of the track, like the
Mhm.
people champion, like the way he's doing. He's doing a lot of stuff on YouTube. Uh, the way he represents HB, I love that. In my opinion, that's great. I think he deserves his status at HB just for the fact of who he is. But if anyone thinks he's like Phend or like Mayfield, I think it's delusional at this point. He needs to
Yeah,
change something to be that.
yeah, I would agree. And he's been around. He's been doing this for a while. He's not.
Mhm.
Cole's been racing for a while.
Yeah, and the
So
thing is, the reason why I'm digging at Cole, if you want to call it that, is because he's a guy who could be a Phend or a Mayfield. He's a guy who, if he just did the right things, had the right attitude, he could be the Phend of this weekend. You know, that's why I'm saying this stuff, because he has the potential to be that, but he's not just executing it. You know.
mhm. All right. Lutz would be disappointed with this, but I think Lutz. It looked like Lutz was having some flame out issues early on in pits,
Yeah.
and then he had a. It looks like he flamed out or had an issue on lap. Shucks. It was her. It was an 80-second lap. It looked like. Maybe I missed it. Let's see. But yeah, Lutz. Frustrating. It's good to see him have
Yeah.
speed and be her. But maybe I thought I saw an 80-second lap. But
I wouldn't want to say this, but
49-second lap. So
he
he
needs
didn't.
to get some better engines. Sorry, but he needs
Yeah.
to.
He
Like
started in
so
11th.
so
And
many races where the engine screw him up. Like I used to run Alpha like way back in the
oh, gee.
day, and at that time those engines were good. Like I mean, fuel mileage some of the engines had very bad fuel mileage. Some of the engines had very good fuel mileage, but all of them ran pretty good. They had a lot of wear, but they ran pretty good. But like you just can't flame out at every race, which pretty much what Lutz has done. You know.
I don't
So
know. I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it going because he would won better than 11th. I mean, Truggy was good.
yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it definitely had some long. He had a couple of like 47, 40. I think he flamed like coming into fuel up,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
at that
exactly.
in the
Like that's
pits.
like
So
exactly what he had that last year. Like
yeah.
flame
All
out
right.
of fuel.
But hopefully he gets it together. Brandon
Yeah.
Rose, he finished 9th. I think that's good for him. First time
Yeah.
making this race. Ryan Pavitas 8th. I think he'd went better than that, but to be fair, let's see. Yeah,
No, but
that's
I
kind of where
mean,
he was at.
yeah, it's Pavidis is sort of at that level where he's not good enough to challenge for top fives or podiums, but he's good enough to always sort of make the main.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
was. He
that's sort of
started
the
in 9th and finished in 8th.
yeah,
So
that's sort of annoying position where you know when you start the main that you're most likely not gonna get anything sort of memorable out of it.
mhm.
But when you go to a race, you know that you sort of are gonna make the main. So that's a very annoying position to be in. But I mean, if he just keeps at it and tries new stuff and practices and all that, I believe he could be a guy who could actually challenge for top fives. Like he could be a sort of Van Dalen, because Van Dalen has these days. Like I think Pavidis could be like that, but Pavidis is obviously naturally just way more consistent than Van Dalen is. No.
All right. Joe Bornos we talked about in 7th. Jared Tebow. I think Teebs, my mate, I think he would be upset with this because I think Tebow
Yeah.
would want to be at least in the top 3. I think Tebow could have won this. I think
I
he
mean,
was still in my.
didn't
I
he
think
start
until that
third?
accident, I was kind of still, like, all right, he's gonna do good. But when he got that accident, he got shuffled back, and he was just in that gaggle of cars. It was just hard to get through that. And then you just start making more mistakes. And it's unfortunate because I know he was super pumped and he did well in qualifying. And I know he wants to do better than this. Like a lot of people will be
Yeah.
like, 6 is good. Not for him. Like
No,
I
no, no,
know,
no.
and I talked
The
to
thing
him.
is, like, 6th is good for guys like Van Dalen, Pavidis, like these guys who are up and coming. They need consistent results. For a guy who's won World National Championships, won World Championships, who's sort of he's still getting a paycheck, but he's doing his last years in RC. 6 is something that just pisses you off. And I 100% know that Tebow should at least agree with me because I'm pretty sure that's what he feels right now.
Yeah, I
And
think he felt that he
I
had much more than that 6.
oh, and come on, like he did. Like
Mhm.
he TQ'd the first round. He was up there in qualifying. He won his semi. He did everything up to the main where kind of how he should have. He he lacked pace. Let's be honest. He lacked a bit pace in the main. But 6th isn't sort of what he deserved to be at.
Mhm.
And 6th isn't where he definitely wouldn't have wanted to be at 6th.
Yeah, I would
So
agree with you there.
unfortunate for him. And the way he has approached this year has been amazing. So that's very unfortunate for him because, in my opinion, he has the right attitude, he has the right goals in mind, and he's doing everything right. The results just really aren't there. I mean, I've been going at the techno car for a long time. I don't know if that's it's just that, but I wish they did.
I
I
think
wish
it.
they'd
I'll tell you
try
what I think it
something
is.
else.
I think, and I think it's going to come up. We'll talk about it in our tire conversation. I think it's something to do with that.
Okay. Yeah,
I think, and
but
we'll
it's.
talk about
I
that in
mean,
a bit.
yeah,
And that's nothing that he's told me or anything like that. That's just what I'm observing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, he would definitely want better than that. Better than that. Seth Van Dalen, we talked about. Spencer Rivkin. I would
Surprised,
have to
to
say
be honest.
surprised because he was like a
Yeah.
non-factor all for me personally, was a non-factor all week. Like I heard his name, but I didn't hear his name. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were struggling to get into these mains. Like they were like, there might not be an associated truck in the main, and he made it, but he was a non-factor in 11th, and he didn't even finish his race. Good result for Spencer. Not a win, not a top 3. He's had plenty of top 3s over the last year. He wants to win. But I think he leaves after DNC, his DNC that he had. I think a 4th. Yeah, he leaves with that. He leaves with that somewhat happy. He would probably think he would want more.
Yeah.
But I think after the weekend that he had, 4th is good for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this has sort of been Spencer's MO, like suck at qualifying and then have a good main ending up. Like DNC last year, he qualified in the B and then made the main, then finished
He finished
4th,
third.
battling with Denny.
Third.
Oh, third. Okay, sorry, but battling with Denny at the end for 3rd, and then ended up getting it. Like this has been sort of Spencer's MO for a while. He needs to get comfortable with the car. Long mains, he can execute the car how it can be, but
You know what
yeah,
I think, Max? You know what I think,
isn't good
Max?
enough.
I know how much is like Richard does helps a model. I know he does his own work and all that stuff, but I've noticed Richard is stopped racing a lot, and I think that Richard not racing might have, I don't know. Call me word. I don't know, but that's his mechanic. And I thought, I don't know. I don't know. I just noticed that Richard hasn't raced a lot because he didn't race DNC. He didn't race this. I think he raced it. I don't know. Raced it 21. I don't know. But 4th, I think Spencer's
Hard
happy with
to say.
4th. Spencer's happy with 4th.
He's gonna be
AE
happy
is
with
happy with
4th.
4th.
Yes, but if I was AE, I wouldn't be happy with fourth.
Yeah,
Like
not with
Spencer,
TLR
like
coming first.
yeah, and like let's be honest, Spencer isn't a 10 scale guy trying out 8 scale anymore. He's a
No.
two-time World National Champion in buggy. He's a guy who should be every time he goes out on track be fighting for the win in 8 scale. He's good enough as a driver. He has the best tire, which you're gonna talk about in a bit. He should have the best car. I don't think he does. And he has the best engine. I think he runs a wrong model, but either way, he has the best brand of engine. He has everything he should have to win these races, to win Mayfield, which he should do, but he just doesn't. And I think there's something to be found there.
You think?
I think so. I mean, Saxton is great when things are going great, but when things aren't going according to plan, the experience I have with him talking with like people who he has worked with, like drivers who he has worked with, he isn't very good at sort of adapting at these situations. He like the driver has a lot of work to sort of keep up with him. So perhaps Saxton's holding him back. I doubt that. I think Saxton's good.
Oh my god. Are you just
But-
trying to go full on against AE and get like us sued today?
No, I mean I said I doubt that Saxton's the fault at here.
I just think okay.
But I think
so-
it's just like okay, let's be honest. It should be Phend and Rivkin out front, not Phend and Mayfield. You know? Phend shouldn't be happy with fourth. Oh, sorry, Rivkin shouldn't be happy with fourth. He should be disappointed with fourth. Like that's what I'm
I
saying.
think
like,
he's as happy as with fourth as Phend was happy with fourth at DNC. It was like we were just happy to get there. That's what I mean.
okay,
like just happy
but,
to get
I
there.
mean, Rivkin was 11th in DNC. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like there's, in my opinion, Rivkin is just as a good of a driver as Phend. Like okay, he doesn't have that flashy speed, but he's a two-time tool drive world champion. Phend
Two-time
is
national
never
champion.
two-time national champion in buggy. Phend has just won his first buggy championship. He has never won any world championships. So it's to me it's odd that we must assume that Phend is so much better than Rivkin at the moment.
Because he doesn't have the results.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Rivkin as a driver is super good. His motivation is out there. He practices a lot. He has all the tools available for him, but something isn't just clicking. Is it the car? In my opinion, it may be, but hard to say.
Okay.
Is it Saxton? In my opinion, no. Saxton is great. If I ever had him as a mechanic, I'd be happy, I think. So I don't think it's Saxton. Is Barry a bit better than Saxton? I don't know. I mean, my opinion, maybe yes. But these guys can talk it out themselves. I don't know. They they can
That's
handle
like,
between
I'm
the
not
two.
saying anything anymore.
I'm not saying anything anymore.
I don't know. I
but-
don't think it's anything to do with those guys. I think it's just
But I mean, then
Um,
what is it then? Because it is in the tires, it is in the engine. It's either the car, the mechanic, or the driver. In my opinion, it isn't the car. Oh, it isn't the driver, and it isn't Saxton.
so it's got to
So
be the car.
is it just the car then? Like, if I was looking at this and going full savage, I'd be going, it is the car. But I'm trying to remain objective here and saying like it's not the car. But the thing is, like, what's weirding me out was, like, I know these guys have tested this car for a while. Like, they first time they tested this front end was already a year ago, and they said they found something great. They tested this early 2021, and they said they found something really good. But Ongaro's results aren't proving it to be very good. DNC didn't prove it to be very good, and these results aren't proving it to be very good. So what's the deal here? Like,
Well, I think they need to work on the car. That's what I think they need to do.
because in my opinion, that car I ran at the end of 2021 was one of the best cars and fastest cars I'd ever ran. So why, like, in my opinion, if that new car isn't doing the job for them, they are going backwards. Why is that happening?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what that's like my process in my mind. And like I want to be as fair to associate as possible, because I think, like, I really hope all the best for them, and I think they, when my time at there was great, and I don't have anything sort of against them, but I'm trying to be logical here, and I mean I could be wrong. The car could be good. I haven't tried the new car, obviously, but
if we're going by results, it doesn't look like it's good.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. We've spent enough time on Rivkin. We can't figure out his problems. Let's talk about Mason Fuller and how fucking awesome he is.
Yeah.
Not even 18 years old. I said it today on Facebook. I said, he's no longer knocking at the door. He's kicked that door down and he has entered the building.
Agreed.
This kid, I talked about him, young man. I talked about him a lot last year. He made that chassis switch to HB, and I knew it wasn't going to be effective much. I thought he was going to be better right away. But man, I mean, we had him picked as our dark horse to do some damage at this race. I would say third is pretty good for Mason Fuller. Congratulations to him and Team Fuller. I think maybe. I just think it gets back when these guys get back in that pack and they're racing with everybody in that mid pack from 3rd to 7th. It shows that the top 2 guys just kind of pull away. And I wish he would have got out of that pack earlier and then had some, probably some better tires and more clear ground to chase these guys down, but he didn't. But good job to Mason Fuller. There's his dad right there.
Yeah.
Nice gentleman. Great
That's
result
the thing.
for him.
That's the thing
Great
about
result.
Mason Fuller. There really isn't anything to dislike him about. He's a great family. Him and his younger brother race together. They are fair. He's not a driver who takes people out all the time. He's not a guy who, like, these people aren't people who you'd
Right, I know
have
what you mean. That
anything,
is a nice family. They
bad
put in a
about.
lot of work, hard work.
Yeah. And the kid is fast. Like, he's fast. He gets results done. 3rd at Roar Nats. Nothing spectacular happened. Clean race. Just was better than their guys behind him. Like, I mean, I was a bit disappointed in a sense for the fact that he had to leave TLR. But for their sake, this is probably one of the best moves they could have made.
Yeah, I think TLR messed up letting these guys go.
Exactly. I think it's more of a bad on TLR's part for letting them go than for them to leave. And it's hard to, like, I've been a huge fan of them. I spoke to their dad a lot at DNC 2018, and I'm a huge fan of these guys. But even objectively, not sort of any fan ideas behind it. Like, come on, this kid is amazing. Like,
yeah, I think once he just he's not scared. I think he's just gotta calm down a little bit. Maybe not make as much mistakes, but that will come.
Yeah,
he's just gotta get up and be able to race with these guys. I think if he could get up and get with these guys, he can beat them. He can be sure that he can beat them. He just needs a chance to get up there with him.
And like, it's crazy how going into this event, we were like, realistically, this is the guy who can challenge Phend and Mayfield, and he freaking did. He did all of the things we expected. He didn't obviously win, which we sort of were like, okay, he could win, but this is realistically the best he could have done, and he did it. He did all of that, and he fought for it, and just
what
a
can you
perfect
say
race,
negative about it?
Yeah.
The only negative thing you can say is he didn't win.
Yeah, and even that is like, okay, he has time. Like,
yeah, he's not even 18, I don't think, or going 18. Incredible. Well done, Team Fuller.
Yeah.
Well done to Caden, too. Caden had a good weekend, just getting back in the groove of things. This was funny. I think this was Lots on top of Tebow. Oh my! Right now, I
Oh
know like
wow,
that's
and
that's just like
yeah,
going from work like that. You saw that wiggle of the wheels. That's that frustration. Like get the fuck off me. Like you know what I mean?
yeah, I've
Um,
been there.
unfortunate for Tebow. I just feel for him on this one because I know he wanted this bad. All right, well, let's get to your favorite, your guy of the day that you really fell in love with, and now who's not your swinging from, Ryan Mayfield. You love
Yeah,
Ryan Mayfield right now.
I mean, I've always liked him. I've tried to
You
be
like him when he
more
doesn't win.
objective.
That's what I don't understand about you. He wins, and you're like, oh,
No, no, the thing is like because when he wins, everyone hates him. So I gotta be like sort of appealing to the audience. When he doesn't win, I gotta be like, okay, like let's freaking be serious about this. This is a guy who like he's he just raced. Like he doesn't care about none of the bullshit. He wants to go out on track, no headphones, no nothing, just
no.
race and have fun.
Drury gave him more like 4.8 pit stop too. Did you see that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
Drury's pretty badass in
yeah.
pitting.
I mean, okay,
Oh,
Mayfield didn't get this one. Finished second again.
he
Like, come
could
on,
have
like
though. He could have won this.
yeah, like he wasn't that far, but he was 4 seconds away. He had the lead for a few times. He
Fenn
was
definitely
battling
tried to
all the
give it
way
to him a
through.
few times.
Yeah, but that's just regular fan. But like, I think people sort of, I don't know if it just me, if I'm just projecting a bit, but I think the way I feel is Mayfield is sort of given this, oh, he should always win tag, but he wins because he's good. He doesn't win because he's given anything, you know?
No, he works for it.
And he works for it every time. This time he worked for it. It was just not enough, but he was still close. And the attitude he has towards racing, the way he sets up his cars, the way he runs his race program, he thinks about everything. He seems like a guy who doesn't care about stuff, but he really does. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to say anything negative about him because he wins almost every race. So finishing second once isn't that big of a
Finished
deal.
second and almost winning the race. It's exactly this is. I wanted it to be a close. I mean, yeah, Fenn got him at the end, but I didn't want this to be a runaway. I wanted this
Yeah,
to be a good battle. I
but
mean, he got
let's
in front
let's
and
be
he gave
honest
it
though.
away.
Like this is a track which is exact opposite of what Mugen's good at. Slow speed, 180s, low grip, jumps that are very technical. So this is exactly like a track where you need to square up a lot. Everything about this track just screams like Mugen sucks, you know? And
That
he
sucked
still
just now.
finishes. Yeah, but I mean, he still finished second. And everything about this track, except for sort of the rear end about TLR, screams and the bumps of this track, obviously, screams that and C-Hub cars are good. Like, if this was flat track, I'd be like, okay, Mayfield has no chance. The bumps helping a bit, but either way,
Look how
come
fast he
on,
is
like,
catching up to Fenn right here. Like, you know?
yeah. But I mean, the thing is, like, every time Mayfield catches up to Phend, I know
Fenn
it's
just
him. It's just him, you know. But when other drivers do good, I can see like, okay, the car's doing good things. But with Mayfield, I know the car's every corner it's fighting against him because this isn't the track that Mayfield's and his car isn't made for, you know. Because at DNC, I see like, okay, perfect, everything works, like car, driver, everything works.
I am not gonna lie. I thought it was over at that point. I
I
was like,
mean,
oh, he fended himself.
I'm surprised that Mayfield didn't take off at this point. But
Yeah, I thought so too. I think
yeah,
he flipped off. He even went off the tracker or something. Yeah, great race, man. We talked enough about Fenn. Congrats. I said, you know what, man? I think second.
should
for
I
Fenn-
have I properly addressed the Barry Baker situation now? Should I do it now?
Yes, let's address your feud with Barry Baker.
Okay, I have an apology to Barry Baker. I underestimated you and uh Dakotah Phend for the 2022 Roar Nats. I think this track suited you, or Phend rather, and your guys' car very well, and you guys pulled it off in a rather dominating fashion.
Well, they swept everything.
Yeah.
They swept.
And I gotta
Junior.
give it to you. You guys did a good job, and I underestimated that.
So,
I
and
want
you know what?
to do a butt. I want to do a butt.
And you
But
know
I don't
what?
know
I'm
if
gonna
I'll
okay.
do that another day. I'll save the butt for another day.
You know what I'm gonna say?
The Nats, we underestimated Phend and TLR this race, and they did well. The track, I think the track sort of, the bumps aren't Fend's nemesis. Bumps in corners are Fend's nemesis. And I think that's something I gotta look in my analysis going forwards. Sort of,
Max is gonna be studying film from here to the next
no,
podcast.
no. But I mean, that's a good realization though. And I think if Barry's gonna ever like hear this obviously because
Oh, he's
he
gonna hear
hears
this.
all of this. He's gonna hear this. So Barry's gonna listen to this. So I think going forward, it's you have proven that the car works when you can ride the bumps straight on. You don't have to corner over them. Like all the bumps here are in 180s where you have low speed. You can just steer the car and then go on throttle. And you can, if their bumps are in straightaways, you can just ride over them straight on. I think you have now proven that the car is capable, and Dakotah definitely is capable of handling these situations. But when it's like the NC where you have to carry on speed and go over bumps, in my opinion, in my estimation, I haven't seen pictures of the cars. So if there's something drastic changes, I should be allowed to change my opinion. But if the car is like it looks like right now, squirmy rear end, low grip rear end, the car's floating over everything, which is still the positive offset Mugen hub and semi long rear arm, not fully HB rear arm. In my opinion, you still have a few blind spots, but I'll be more careful of going so hard as I did after the NC. I think
Jesus.
Barry has proved they can win World Champs on different style tracks because Phend was the favorite last year. In my opinion, last year was more of a driving error. This year, car looked good. He looked good. Everything looked fine.
You know
Cavalieri
what?
looked disappointing. What's going on with
Yes, he
him?
didn't make it.
But
He didn't make it.
but like I don't think Barry's really focused on
I
Cav,
think that's
so he
tires.
doesn't.
I think that's tires. He doesn't do anything with
Yeah. So
Cav.
okay, I'll
But hold
finish
on, I
on
haven't
with
finished.
Barry. I'll finish on with Barry and let's go on to tires.
Okay,
I
I'll do
think
my last
I
part.
think I don't like. I'm not still letting Barry and Dakotah off the hook though. They'll still be like they still need to prove it on other tracks, but I'll have sort of a timeout for you guys. I'll be going easier on you on the future.
Oh my god, you just like complimented and said sorry and then got yourself right back into the snake pit. I'm gonna say this. Congratulations to Horizon TLR.
Oh,
Congratulations to
100% so.
Phend and his wife. Congratulations to Barry Baker. I know how much work he's put and how much belief he has in Phend. Thomas Tran, Densford, Brent Densford of Ultimate. I know they just came on, but hey, great for him. 2 national championships. And you know what? All TLR fans and supporters of TLR, Dakotah fan, and Horizon, shoot me a message for my PayPal because you can drop me off a percent of the contingency because I did not pick him. I played the rules. I did not pick him. So you can send me my little percentage, my $2 or $3 that I get for my contribution to helping Dakotah fan win the Raw Nationals by not picking him.
I wanna say it aloud too. Congrats to the Barry and Dakotah and their peers too for the win. It's they did well, and I have nothing against that. They did a really good job here.
All right. So on to another topic that I wanted to bring up, and that was tires. So if you look at the top 5, we have JC. Hold on, is this okay? This is okay. So in your A final, you had Dakotah Fan JC, Ryan Mayfield JC, Mason Fuller JC, Spencer Rifkin JC, Seth Van Dalen JC, Tebow aka Born Horse JC, Pavitas Hot Race, Rose Hot Race, Lutz aka Ogden Hot Race, Ty Hot Race. Not a pro line tire in sight.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever imagine a day when you see a Raw Nats without a pro line tire in there? Well, it has come.
to my like when I hear that, I'm just like my brain doesn't know how to handle it because I remember a time in 2015, 16, 14, 15, 16, perhaps even 17, where if you ran on an abrasive track and you didn't have Proline, you were instantly 2 tenths back. Instantly. Because I remember trying, like, we ran AKS at the time. We tried a few other brands at the time, but every time I put on a Proline set of tires, I was 3 tenths to 5 tenths faster per lap. Like my average just stepped up a lot. When I was running JC, I was a bit happier than with AK at the time. But even then, the abrasive tracks and sort of tracks where you need to run long range, dry track, like this one actually mostly is. But like their new tire that they released,
Which
JC
one's
is
that?
working amazing. Can't remember the name. It's
Who,
the
who we
new
talking
they
about?
released.
J Concepts or
J
Proline?
Concept. J Concept. They
Recon.
released a new tire.
Recon.
Recon. Exactly. Yeah. That tire seems to work wonders. Lots
All
of
right.
forward traction.
Well, let's just be honest here. J Concepts is the number one tire company in RC right now. It's without a doubt.
Oh,
Without a doubt. They win
okay.
indoors down southeast. They're winning at DNC. They're winning at the Nationals on a whole different type of track. Like, I know that they have really good drivers, but they're doing well on a regional level and all that stuff as
Yeah.
well.
The
And then
the
hot
only
race,
issue
then
the only
just let's
issue
just
with J Concepts is the fact that I don't know of any driver in Europe who runs them,
we're
and
not
of
talking
the
about Europe.
drivers I know who runs J Concepts aren't doing very good, and they don't really like the J Concept tires. So
Well, guess what?
that's sort of the only thing against J Concepts, and that's why I'm sort of not putting them number one in the world.
Okay.
In
Well,
America,
in
number one,
America.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I should say that.
yeah.
It's also just like they weren't really seen on the West Coast, but Adam Drake's changed that now. But I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
you can't compete with this. I think just right now that when I was talking about Tebow earlier, I just think like Hot Race is like is below. It's double like no. It's no offense to Hot Race guys in America though. They're below J Concepts, but they're coming. You know what I mean? They're still there. I don't think they have.
Yeah.
You know, they're not too far below, but they're below. And then AKA, in my opinion, is down below. And I think Proline, while they still have tires, good tires and stuff like that, they're just not. The racing program doesn't see. I mean, I think Aiden runs for them. You get what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they're
I
gone,
do. Yeah.
but
I mean,
I just think
Mhm.
I think no. I think you want my honest opinion, man. I just think AKA hasn't changed since when we was running them, and I think the same issues still come up. And I just think like J Concepts and the development, the compound development and tread development is just giving these guys next
but
level
I gotta
a
be
better
honest.
advantage. I'll be
The
honest with you. That's what I
the
think.
the first race I ever ran with J Concepts in 2018 at DNC. At that race, those tires were good. Like
Yeah.
100% a lot better than AK was at the time. So the sort of J Concepts is not good at West Coast argument has
It's
been
over.
it should have been thrown out the window in 2017, because if you're looking at DNC wins, Hot Race is the only brand who has won the race, and that was David in 2020. Every other year, it's been J Concepts and Mayfield. Okay, Tessman won it before. He won it with Proline, but that was way, way back. Proline has been good at times, but J Concepts is sort of the only brand who has kept up, because
Yeah,
Rona is
and
very
grown.
active. Rona works a lot. Proline just got bought by Horizon. AKA has almost gone bankrupt a few times. They fired their one of the main guys, Pavides. Hot Race and J Concepts are in my sort of view, the only big brands that work to make the tires better. And it's not a surprise that those two brands are looking the best at the moment.
So my question to you is, for guys like a Tebow and a Lutz, like remember Tebow went to Proline, came back to AKA. I know he likes what he likes, and I know Do you think if T-Bur's on J Concepts rubber on this track, he wins this race?
Oh no, not at all.
You don't?
I think no. I don't think so, because the thing about AKA is those tires are never bad,
Right.
but those tires are a tire you need to know what they do and drive the car and have the car to suit the tires. Where J Concepts, no matter the car you have, you can see here, it's a Phend car first, which is a pillow ball with a weird rear end. Then you have a pillow ball car with a pillow ball rear end. Then you have a HP. Then you have an associated with a weird front end with a pillow ball and a Mugen style rear end. And then you have an Techno. So all of the cars are very different. AKA needs a car where you can push the car so that it doesn't sort of catch a lot on the side, because AKA tires don't have a lot of give, where J Concepts tires you might even have a lot more give. You can push the car a lot harder, still have grip, and still have the similar corner speed. Whereas AKA you have the a bit more careful, follow the sort of side traction that you have. Proline I have never driven as much as so that I know how they handle, but they have generally just been good tires all around. But I think that has gone a bit, because I don't see that anymore. The results they have, I don't see that. I don't hear people talking about it that much. So I think Proline is just sort of dropped back a bit. I don't like the
It's
thing
hard.
about
It's
AKA.
hard to say.
The thing about AKA that really annoys me is that they had the best tires at one point. They had the tires who were so much better than other tires on especially tracks like this one at the Roar Nats. But they sort of, in my opinion, they sort of went back. They didn't stay still. In my opinion, the compounds got worse. So I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
I don't
fact. I don't know
know
what
what.
actually happened, but that's sort of
Yeah,
my gut feeling about it.
I just feel like at SIC he was, he kind of needed better tires like the AK.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
I'm not saying
let's
that
be
the AK
honest.
is a okay. I'm not
Indoor,
saying he would have won this, but I don't know, man. I just think like if you
but
look
the
at
thing about
T-Bur's,
indoor racing is different. Indoor racing is all
yeah, I
about
know.
tires. This track shouldn't be all about tires. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
J
don't
Concepts
know.
probably was good, but
I don't know. It's a conundrum, but J Concepts is. It's hard to argue the dominance of J Concepts in America right now, and it's any tire companies have a lot of work to do, and they were telling me like the hot race guys were cutting up tires and making like diamonds out of them too, like the Recon similar. I believe.
I love this trend of like when someone drills holes in the wing, or when someone makes a body that's cab backwards. People just follow, and then they think it's better, even though they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Dude, I would not have wanted
Uh,
to be the one that was gluing up tires at this race, like cutting tires
yeah,
and gluing them up.
like I don't like the ghost pin thing. Yeah, fine, looks cool, but that's not why your tires are sucking. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like if you look at these guys' packages, like Tebow right now is at. I'm using Tebow because we think that is probably at he's trying to do, and I think at some point maybe he's just gonna have to say I'm gonna have to try a different tire package or something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, the issue I have is just that now that AKA and Proline is sort of owned by Horizon, I don't see them. I don't see them doing anything anymore. Like I
that's
don't
what a
see
lot of people
them.
say. But they just came up with
Yeah,
another tire, so like I don't know, X
yeah,
shot or
but
whatever it's called.
coming out with another tire isn't impressive. Coming out with another good tire is impressive.
This is true.
So,
This is true. Everyone almost heard at near the end of the main. I think that was Mike Sontag fueling up Dakotah Phend. We had seen at one of the points when Mayfield got in the front, he made some mistakes, and he even said, "I made some You can see Mayfield was frustrated with himself at the silly mistakes he made. All right. Well, I think that's it, Max. All in all, great Nats. I enjoyed it. They had a great viewership. Lots of people watching online, which was good. And great job by Live RC. Again, they look like they got the new cameras. Good jobs by the camera. And they didn't have Scotty. I really did like Tyler Hooks and the guy, Ben Ellis, I think his name is. I thought it was just good. Like I mean, the feed didn't go down. I was happy. You know, it was on YouTube. It was on Facebook. I watched it. I binged it all weekend. That was on all weekend. I told my wife, "Don't bother me. I'm watching this. Don't ask me to turn it down. Don't ask me to turn it off. I don't care. It's not going off." And it didn't. It was on the entire weekend. So I enjoyed it. I love the Nats. I wish I was there. Congratulations to Tim Lime. Once again, congratulations to oh, by the way, TLR did sweep this, so they won. Congratulations to Tater, even though there was not a big junior class. Okay. We'll get on this and then we'll go. There wasn't a big junior class. They decided to do it the regular way, so they took the top juniors that qualified.
Wow.
So it was only about 8 or 7. They do this every year, so it was like under 15. It wasn't too much. Tater Sontag won it by a lot, I believe. And then the 40 plus class, which I was worried that Eclipse, we could have had Eclipse as a 40 plus national champion, the first ever.
Thank
he was
God,
up there, he
Barry
was in the main,
Baker,
and I was like,
you won it.
If Eclipse would have won the 40 plus national, first ever 40 plus national Raw national main, we would have never heard the end of it. With this, I did not like it at first, but I do like it now because I know they have a separate Euros for 40 plus over in Europe, right?
No, but I think the thing is,
They do. They have a separate 40 plus Euros.
yes, but the thing is, don't do it at the same race.
Well,
That's
the thing is,
my
people can't.
opinion,
There's
that's
Max. Do you know how many? They can't do a 40 plus race outside of this race because nobody attended. Nobody goes to the damn ENATs. So I will say this: I've turned into Mason.
Wow.
Was that Mason Fuller? Yes.
Yeah, Fuller and Rivkin.
Yeah, they were battling. I think if Fuller
They've
could
been
have got
battling
away
for a
from
few
Rivkin
laps already.
for minutes, many minutes, like 5
Yeah.
minutes. I think if Fuller could have got away from Rivkin earlier, he would have been a little. He would have mounted a charge. So look, I've changed my
He
tune
ended
on the
up
40
pretty far
plus.
back.
I've changed
But
my tune on the
the
40
thing is-
plus. I wish
the
that
thing is-
Dawnville. Let me finish. The only thing that I wish would have happened, I wish I saw a lot of the 40 plus guys that I think should have raced it, like Ciccarello, Winkelmulder. I wish Saxton would have ran it. I wish if we're gonna have this 40 plus thing, I wish that the fast 40 plus. I wish Greg Nagani would even go to this race. So I wish that I hope next year that it does grow and people go to it. I know you don't want it, but they cannot do it at a separate race. Nobody will go to it.
No, but why? Why can't they? Like,
No.
America has races where there's like hundreds of entries.
Because
These are
nobody
club
goes
races.
because the ENATs had 50 entrants 50 people attended last year, and they would only
Okay.
get. Well, then
Don't
here's
charge
a
people
here's
$100.
a good.
Like, charge
It's
people
not.
normal
It's not that.
entry
It's
fee.
not that. It's not that.
What is it?
It's
then?
just people don't want to go. Like nobody. Like the people that race. I feel that the people that race. It depends where you put it. I think the ENATs will be up the northeast this year, and I think it will get well attended. I think the people of that race e-buggy really like races that have classes, more of a hobbyist type of thing. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about 40 plus. I do not think it's viable to have a separate 40 plus nationals at a different track. No, because then one of these races would suffer. So either this race would suffer or the 40 plus race would suffer. So I'm fine with having it at this race at a limited, like just have a capped entry. Okay, we're gonna have a 40 plus race. There's only gonna be 60 entries. Boom. But I hope that the fast 40 plus guys go and see it. But then again, if 40 plus pays the bills, like everybody says, then maybe there is enough people to have a 40 plus early nationals.
That's the thing. I don't think there's ever going to be a separate junior nationals because that's not going to happen.
There's not enough
But
juniors.
like 50% of the people who run RC are 40 plus. I like at this point it feels like it. So let's just like have a 40 plus Roar Nats at like Thunder Rally. You're gonna have like 200 entries.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So don't like the issue with Roar.
I'll do
is
it Truggy and Buggy.
You can do both obviously, but the issue with Roar is they do races at very silly venues. Okay. All sort of credit to the venues.
They do
a
at
great
races
job.
that want to take their races. That's what happens.
Yeah.
They don't really have
They
a
do it-
choice
they-
anymore.
They do at it at venues which people don't really go to naturally. They have a like LCRC last year was a
But
great.
guess
They had
what?
a
A
great
lot of people go
facility.
to LCRC. It
Yeah.
has a
But
good
that was
race
that was a
attendance.
that was a good sort of roar nats. But the oftentimes roar takes like nats like they did this at a 10 scale track in Florida.
Yeah,
Like
because
obviously
nobody
they're
else
gonna
would
have
do it.
50. Yeah, exactly, and that's the issue. Like roar needs to make this like appliance of this race more available. Like in Europe, 40 plus euros have like 100 entries, and that's
Yeah, well,
for only just Nitro Buggy.
I think that Raw needs to work on getting tracks that want to bid on their races. That's their
Yeah,
issue right now.
in
So,
Europe, these tracks want to hold races, and like a lot of
well,
times
you have
there's so many
Efra.
tracks that you have to choose. Yeah, and Efra sucks, but it's still a lot better than Roar.
It's 1000% better than Raw. I'm
Yeah,
hearing some rumblings about stuff. People just, I know we heard this at every nationals, but I'm hearing there's some rumblings that like a lot of top pros and manufacturers are just fed up with Raw, and there might be a push to start a
yeah.
whole another organization.
I've
But
been so savage on this podcast. I'm not gonna start again, but yeah,
we're near the
come
end.
on.
We're near
Like
the end.
no,
We're at
nothing,
the end of
nothing's gonna happen.
not
No
until they
matter
get a
what
new
these
organization.
manufacturers, yeah, no matter what these manufacturers say, they will never do anything to grow RC. They will keep doing what's going on around them, and that's it.
And you know what?
When things grow and then they see, okay, that's a good market opportunity, then they'll attach to it, but they will never take initiative. Never, ever. If they ever do, I'm gonna be very surprised.
Well, you know what? We're gonna wrap up this podcast as Dakotah Phend wraps up his 60-minute final. We can no longer say that Dakotah Phend is just a I never said that. He's just a 5-minute racer. I mean, he has
Yeah,
won
he isn't.
six
He
he's
isn't. That
60.
was a silly argument from the start, in my opinion. In my opinion, Dakotah Phend was just a racer who made a lot of mistakes.
Well, he didn't. He made mistakes in this main, but he didn't. You know, he was fast enough to win. Congratulations to him. Big monkey off his back.
Oh, for
Great win for
sure.
TLR. TLR needed this after an abysmal DNC, and yeah, good job to him, man. There he is, happy. I would be incredibly happy. Watch this though. I think where's Rivkin? I think Rivkin doesn't even. Let's see, because you know there's a beef there. There's definitely a beef there. There's Barry. He's so elated. I know how you feel. Lutz saying
Yeah.
what's up. Seth and
Congrats to
Dalen walking
Barry.
off.
I've been going way too hard on Barry, I think, but I'll still keep going hard on him because I think this has fueled him up even more. Seeing his text to you, I mean, I think I'm fueling Barry to get these wins, so I'm gonna keep going. But I gotta give credit this time; they dominated this weekend.
Yeah, man. It was great. I loved it. Thank you to Tim Lime. Thank you to everybody that went. Thank you to Live RC for bringing us great coverage. I love the Nationals. I love them. I thoroughly enjoyed them this year. Anyway,
It
Max,
was a
I
bit
think that's it.
weird when it was this early, but I mean, it was still fine. That's all
Yeah,
good.
it's fun. Just a lot of racing because now we got. So as for me, everybody, I am off to RCGP this Wednesday. I fly into Miami and rent a car. This is like old school. This is what I used to do back in like 2018. Rent a car, drive up to Orlando. I'm driving up to Daytona, meeting my buddy, then dropping the car off. Then we're going up, and then I'll be at RCGP. I'll be doing. I don't think I'll be doing any podcasts. I'm just going to be doing like videos, walkabouts, laps, and then I'll probably be up in the booth with Nick or whatever job I'm good at RCGP. I implore guys, remember, there is a pay-per-view for it. It's $14.99. I'm not even asking people to go for the $100 thing or commit to a year. I want you guys to commit to just this one event, which is happening this weekend. You get to watch some great racing. You get to watch a show. I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff. Like I want to show people like media day and all that type of stuff. So if you guys want to support RCGP, I know a lot of people are against it. That's fine. But yeah, pay that $14.99. If you don't think it's worth it, then you can drop it after that. Or you can just pay the $14.99 when it's time for the races to come about. You know, every little bit helps. I'll continue to pay my $14.99 out of the year to help because I hope it brings coverage of Euros warm-up and Worlds warm-up and possibly AMS. So I'm looking forward to that. RCGP doesn't have, like, it ain't going to have Ongaro and It doesn't look like Infinity's going to field a full team. And like, I was kind of disappointed that Canas or Boots didn't come, but it is what it is. We're going to race. It's the most Americans that's ever been in an RCGP race. It's actually more Americans than Europeans, so that's a good thing. The people that are doing it, the track looks good. I've seen a car go around the track. It looks great. Everything looks easy. And yeah, I can't wait. So check it out. The people that are behind RCGP are putting a lot of work, a lot of effort, and they'd appreciate it if you tune in. And I appreciate it if you tune in, because then I have people to talk to while I'm up there bumbling about with Nick and trying to my hand at commentating. Yeah, I think that's it. We've been going for 2 hours, Max. That's it. Time to go. Everybody, Max, thank you for your time. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. We had a great live last week. Congratulations to everybody that attended the Nationals. Shout out to Tim Lime. I'll see him this weekend. And congratulations once again to the Dakotah Phend, man, and TLR. Good job. Good freaking job. With that said, I wanted to say my thank yous. Shout out to everybody. Say thank you to the NNRC Squad around the world. Thank you to the patrons of the podcast. And a big shout out to all of our sponsors: Invisible Speed, TZO 200 Tires, High Tech RC, TNR Fuels, Beach RC, Techno RC, Mayako, JQ Scale Motorsports, G-Spec RC Tuning, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, Clinic RC. Shout out to RCGP, House of RC, JTP RC, the DR Race Shop and the DR Race Arena, and the Dr. Alex Hagberg. Everybody, this is your Raw Nationals. It was great. We are done talking about it. Max, Nitro's the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're sliding. We're out. Short intro.